everybody's going to be looking at me.
Sneaky, sneaky.
This is huge. Are you listening?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brink of Reality podcast. I'm your host Ryan Brink, here to bring you my latest Survivor David vs Goliath X interview with the third person voted out of this series, Jeremy Crawford, and this is a big one. He has some interesting takes on why he felt he was removed from this game, stuff that maybe we didn't see on the show, which I love in X interviews, so that's really cool. But also we get some takes about some of the relationships and maybe some of the people that we're not seeing so prominently on screen. So yeah, really cool chatting to Jeremy. Huge shout out to him and to CBS setting this one up. If you are liking these X interviews, make sure that you're subscribed on any of your podcast apps, any of those that you can rate us 5 stars and give us a review. Please do that. It helps others find us during the season. But yeah, enjoy this chat that I have with Jeremy Crawford.
Third person voted out of Survivor. Jeremy. That's 6. That's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
All right, on the line, I'm patching in the latest eliminated player from Survivor, David vs Goliath. Jeremy, how you going, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I just want to take you straight to the tribal council last night. How shocked were you that you were the person who was eventually voted out unanimously?
I wasn't shocked. I was going in, I knew it was a 50-50 chance. I suspected that the girls might be wanting to do an all-girl alliance or at least leave that on the table. But the 9-1, I didn't know about the 9-1 until I watched the show last night.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know it. I didn't know. They don't read all the
votes, yeah.
At tribal. Yeah.
Obviously, last night as well, we see the show is showing us that Angelina was the one who really seemed to be gunning for you. Why did that happen? Because it seemed like Natalie was the obvious first boot.
You know, I made a comment about Angelina being in the showman, and it was a flippant comment. And it got back to Angelina close to time, maybe the day of the competition or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was very adamant of getting me out because I said that she was in the showman. And, you know, it just went from there. That's how she galvanized the people. Because a 9-1 vote is, I mean, in Big Brother, that's easy. The house, everybody goes to the house. And Survivor, that's very difficult. I don't even know. I'm not a Survivor fan like that where I can tell you, but a 9-1 vote on the first tribe of somebody who's one of the most popular tribe members, who is not the most physical, and who doesn't know how to do puzzles, and everybody knows doesn't have an idol, and you get a 9-1, that's more than just, technique.
Obviously, you had this really interesting relationship with Natalie out there as well. You guys were very just open and honest with one another, which I loved. You commented in the episode that these 9 people wouldn't go to her funeral. Who out of these 9 people now would you want to come to your own funeral, Jeremy?
I mean, other than Natalie probably wouldn't, and Angelina definitely probably wouldn't come now. But I had a great time with everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't The thing about it that's hard to capture is how much fun the Goliaths had. And if you take Natalie out of the situation, it literally would have just been a frat house. You know, even in the middle of the storm, even in the middle of the cyclone, even in the middle of the hunger, we just all connected. And so that's what I was trying to tell Natalie, like, no matter if they vote me out or not, that's a strategic game. But your personality, how you're talking to people, that's a real life thing.
Yeah.
That's real life. And in this environment, you can learn something from that, But some people ain't going to learn, especially people who married. Talking to married people about learning something and changing something, that's a very difficult task.
Can you tell me about some of that fun that you guys got up to then, maybe that we didn't see on the show? What were some of the things that you guys were doing out there?
Even after that meeting where I said we need to stop all the side talk and go and just be unified, we literally went to the beach. I did a whole skit about being Destiny's Child survivor. We just, we literally, and another thing is, I don't think you can see from these first 3 episodes, and I don't know if you'll ever get it. The biggest thing that you can't see is Alec is magnetic. Alec is like a superstar.
Yeah.
His personality is something that everybody likes and get along with, and he was like so funny and mixed with my funny, mixed with Mike's funny, it was just a comedy show.
Yeah, it's so good to hear. We haven't really seen anything from Alec, which is disappointing so far. You mentioned Mike White there as well. He seemed incredibly conflicted at the voting confessional, having to write down your name. You guys obviously had a really good relationship out there. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Mike?
Me and Mike had a confrontation on like maybe day 2 about building the shelter. And if you go back and look at the CBS, they have a clips on life at Goliath. And because I needed Mike to communicate what he wanted to do about shelter building, and he just wasn't able to communicate it at first. But then I was like, no. And he kind of got frustrated, and I was like, nope, you can get frustrated, but we're going to sit here and communicate so that when you need to go off, everybody else can keep going.
Yeah.
And I think from that, he realized that no matter how I talked, my intentions were good.
Yeah.
And from that, I think we kind of built a friendship, because he was like, this is who he is, but he has good intentions. And, and Mike was the one who pretty much was the planner for how we ended up building the lean-to. And so we just built a relationship from that.
Yeah, it was great to see. I really liked it. I'm very disappointed that relationship in particular couldn't go far, because I think the two of you were really good TV. We also saw, in terms of that relationship, at one point, Mike being your lookout as you are looking through people's bags and clothing to have a look and see if anyone has an idol. You found out that Dan did have an idol. Can you talk me through that? And then obviously in the episode we see you telling people that he has this idol.
What happened was it started raining, and Kara ran past her clothes to go get Dan's jacket. That told me two things. Dan had an idol, and Kara knew about it, because Kara had very limited clothing. So when I saw her run past her own clothes to get Dan's jacket, to keep it from getting dry, I knew that something was in it. And then that was about on day 4. Dan found the idol, and probably on day 5, I found it in Dan's hand. Not until the 9th day, 15 to 30 minutes before Tribal, did I start telling my castmates that Dan had an idol, because I was scared that if the girls were trying to do an all-girl alliance, they would need a boy out. I was hoping that if it was going to be a boy, they would take Dan out and flush the idol out. But I didn't know at the time that the issue about the showman, Angelina not wanting people to know.
You talked about being a big fan of Survivor out there, and obviously you got to have this experience, but it obviously was cut quite short. Do you feel like you got to live the experience that you wanted to, or is there still something niggling at you saying, no, I didn't get that full experience?
I didn't get the full experience at all, because I didn't get to do any strategy yet. I talk strategy with Mike, and that's why Mike's testimonies are like, oh my God, his mind moves so fast. My mind does so fast. And I do think down the road. But that's why Mike was like, oh my God, he talks strategy. But I didn't get to talk strategy to anybody else, because we had one easy vote. And we won the first 2 challenges.
Yeah.
So it was no real strategy talk. So it was really no chance. I just had a good time, and I had the Survivor outdoor experience, but I didn't get the Survivor
experience. Yeah. Jeremy, just one last question. Obviously, Survivor's a hugely edited show. We only see certain parts of it. Was there anything that didn't make the air that you wish had have made the air that you got up to while you're out there?
Maybe the part about, maybe a little bit more about John and Angelina, but I think it was difficult because, if you don't want something on the air, you can try to maneuver around it. But I will say this. I thought watching Survivor, it would be super edited. After watching it, I was like, wow, I was surprised that even in the amount of time that they have the show on, they're able to really give you a sense of what happened. Like, I didn't see anything that I said, oh, there's editing.
Yeah.
You got a sense that's what it was,
Jeremy, thank you so much for chatting to me today. You were a really fun character out there for the time we had. It's disappointing. I'm very disappointed that you're gone. I was a big fan of yours, so I'm sad that you are gone so early in the game. But all the best, and I hope we do get to see you come again.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to end my chat with the latest eliminated player from Survivor, David vs. Goliath, Jeremy Crawford, and some interesting perspectives, I think, from Jeremy on his reasoning for why he was eliminated, centering around Angelina especially. I think the big thing to take from all of these X interviews that it's always one person's perspective. It's not always a perspective that is shared by everyone out there. I think that'll be really fun and interesting to chat when we get Angelina on, especially at some point, hopefully down the line, because she's playing a very good game, to chat to her about what has been said. I don't think that, I don't want to add fuel to that fire, because I don't know if that's 100% accurate either. So really interesting chat with Jeremy. Really cool to hear some stuff about Mike White and Alec as well, which I feel like we don't really know anything about Alec, which is disappointing, because it sounds like he is someone who is pretty interesting and fun. So hopefully we'll get a bit more of him as the season progresses. But again, huge shout out to everyone who has been listening to all these Ace interviews during the season and is following along. Really appreciate you and your support. All right, until next time, the community has spoken. I'll chat to you very soon. See you guys. Bye.
Jeremy, Trapper spoken.